Hey, everybody. What's up? Today we're talking about how to prep for what you are asking for. I'm just trying to go live on Instagram. I think we are official. Okay. So how to prep for what you are asking for. So shout out to all of you who are watching. What's up? I'm Christine Horn, the booking magnet. And this is the Hollywood Bound Actor Podcast, here to give you some actors daily bread, here to give you some inspiration. I am the founder of Hollywood Bound Actors, the founder of Book More TV, and I just got off doing TikTok live before I got on here to warm up, and I didn't know what I was going to talk about. But then, as I was coaching somebody, it came, and so I just want to encourage you all to prep for what you're asking for. So I know there's a lot of discussion right now because for some of us, it feels like the industry can be feeling slow, right? Is just so you know, my position, I don't like to focus on what doesn't feel positive. So I'm choosing not to focus on that. And I am choosing to focus on what I can control. And that is me. That is my growth. That is my progress. So I was coaching a young man on TikTok a few minutes ago, looking at his Actors Access and all these things. And they were talking about how it was a little slow for them. And so my question is, I want you to think about this right now. So if you're if you're in the boat and feeling like, but Christine, it is a little slow. Like I haven't had this, I haven't had that. I want you to pause. We're operating in the good energy here. If it were as busy as you desire, and get ready to type in the chat, okay? If it were as busy as you desire, how many auditions would you ideally like to have in a week? Throw some numbers in the chat. You know, I don't like to talk to myself, so I'm ready. I want to see these numbers in the chat. If you were like, if this was the ideal situation, how many auditions would you like to have in a week? Come on. Don't be quiet. Y'all are here. 5. Karima says 3. 3. Come on, TikTok. Come on. Don't just watch me. Got to talk to me. 3. I want to see Martin. Hey, Martin Davis, 4. At least 4 per week. Gloria on TikTok, 5. 8. Okay. Come on. Let me see the numbers. This is you speaking life. If you're new to me, I'm Christine Horn and I speak life over myself. Come on, 19. Okay. 5. I'm seeing a lot of 5s, some 3s, some 8s. Someone on TikTok, Sierra, says 19. Okay, I'm asking because this is very important. A lot of times we are in this space of I just want more, but we're not even clear on what the more is and what the more looks like. The other day, if you missed my live the other day, I was talking about how to manifest your next role. And it wasn't just on some, it was on some real shit. Like we had some steps on what we were going to actually do. And this goes along with it. Okay, so I'm seeing 5s, I'm seeing 1s, I'm seeing 3s. So I asked you how many auditions you would ideally like to have. Now, I'm just going to pause for a second for you to really think about your number, and no judgment to the number, but I do want to make sure you're thoughtful with the number that you're putting out here. If it were busy as hell, that's how much you want. 1. Ariel says 1. You just want 1. Gloria says 5 and up. Okay. Whatever your number is, you've sat with that number. You have called that number forth. That's what you're calling forth. So as I was coaching the brother on TikTok a little while ago, Rashad said, I'm going to say 4. Okay. Yes, in a week, Epiphany, how many auditions would you ideally like in a week? It's so interesting how this is an interesting question. Right? Because we stay in this place of I just want. As we work on manifesting, clarity, specificity is very important. It is very important. It's like going to, if any of you have my book, Playing Small, I guess I'm promoting it because it's great. It's on Audible, Amazon, right? I talk a lot about manifesting and being a booking magnet and calling things forth to you. And I have a chapter in there that talks about life is like the Cheesecake Factory menu. Okay, life is like the Cheesecake Factory menu. If you've ever been to a Cheesecake Factory, you know that menu is 8,000 pages, right? But so life, you have opportunities to put your your desires out. It's like going to a restaurant. You can go to a restaurant when we get done with this live, and you just go sit down at the table, and the waiter comes by and says, "How?" The server comes by and says, "What would you like?" And you're like, "Whatever, food." And like, "Well, do you know what you're in the mood for? Food." And then they come and they give you some nasty stuff that you don't eat. Like for me, that would be like eggs and cheese or something that I don't eat. And I could be like, "What the hell? I don't want cheese and eggs. Why would you give me this?" And they could be like, you didn't say what you wanted. You just said food. And eggs and cheese is food. So insert whatever is nasty to you. Like that's what I'm talking about. So life is like the Cheesecake Factory menu in that you have to be specific. It's okay to be specific with God, the universe. Be specific in what you desire to call forth. And I think a lot of times us as actors, we live in this space of anything, whatever is good, it's fine. It's whatever. And I want to encourage you today to get clear on what you desire, how much of it do you desire. That's why something, if you're familiar with me here in my community, Trevina says, "I don't want anything from the Cheesecake Factory." But in my community, we say, "Thank you, more please." I like to be clear that not only am I grateful for all that comes my way, but I have a capacity for more. And I want to be very clear with God that I can handle the more that's coming. Sometimes we ask for a full plate and then, the plate gets too full and we forgot that we asked for that. So I started this live today by asking how many auditions would you like ideally in a week, because we're not focusing on what is happening right now. This is not real right now. There is more on the other side of all of this. So whatever your number was, my question to you next is, how are you preparing for that? How prepared are you for that? There was someone here on TikTok who said 19 auditions would be ideal. I love that. Some of you said 8, some of you said 1, some of you said 5. Whatever your number was, great. How prepared are you for that? What things, what processes, what processes do you have in place to make sure that you excel no matter what? I'm asking that because sometimes, look, we're grown. Most of us watching right now are grown, right? Some of you are taken care of and independently wealthy. I love that for you. For many of us, we're grown, we got jobs, we have responsibilities. Some of you have kids and family and things, and just life be lifing, right? So what do you have in place when the abundance of what you're asking for shows up? I speak this because it is important that you stand in high expectation of that which you desire. Now I'm about to, let's see, God just used me. Many times we say we want one thing. It sounds cool. We say we want it. However, when it arrives, I think sometimes we don't think our ask is as strong as it is. We think sometimes our prayers go unanswered and the thing we're asking for is just some pie in the sky thing, and maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. I want you to operate from a place of such high expectancy that you must prepare now for what is coming. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Say I get you. I need a few. I get you in the chat. Put I get you in the chat if you're feeling me. I just want to make sure we're on the same page before I keep talking. I just need a few I get you, so I know I'm not talking to myself. Let me check on StreamYard. Yes. Okay. I see Martin. Thank you. Tiara. Rashad. Okay. Epiphany. Karima. Okay. Awesome. We're on the same page. So I want you to reevaluate just what you're asking for. Don't be worried about this right now stuff. Don't worry about the right now of the industry, the state of we don't worry about that. That's not even a thing we're concerned with. What do you desire? Do you have the capacity? Are you prepared for what you're asking for? And so I'm just using the audition piece just as in one prime example. because the gentleman I was coaching on TikTok about 30 minutes ago, we were saying, okay, if you are an expectation of minimum 5 auditions a week or minimum 19 a week, whatever that number was for you, when was the last time you practiced that? When was the last time that was in your body? So if you have time on your hands right now, what would it look like if you were to just download some scripts from a website, get with some of your actor friends, swap scripts of maybe things you didn't book or that you did book? You can do a script swap with some of your actor friends, and you keep yourself trained and sharp. And like, I want if I had 5 auditions that came up this week, today is Wednesday. If 5 auditions came in today, because I know that feeling where it's like, boom, and another one, and another one, and another one. And guess what? They're all due on, well, now they have to give us 2 days, right? But they're all due Friday at 9 a.m. What is your process? Because I've coached so many actors at this point. Outside of being an actor myself and feeling this for myself and managing that, I've also coached so many actors where that bar of quality can start to go down by audition 3, 4, or 5 or beyond. And I want to make sure that your quality that you put in for audition 1 is the same quality we give for audition 7 or 8, whatever your number was. And if you struggle currently with delivering same top tier quality for audition 1 versus audition 7 in the same week or in a crunch time, that's the area I want you to sharpen. That's the tool in your toolkit that needs to be sharpened. And how do you know it needs to be sharpened if you're not in the space of doing it? The other day, again, we talked about manifestation, working on the roles we want to do. I use the example of doing, maybe you desire to do an action project. And I was sharing how I shot something earlier this year where it was action. I was in fight training for 3 and 4 hours a day. And I was like, wow, like this, I would be struggling a lot more had I not had a personal trainer last year. Now, even though that trainer wasn't prepping me for action, that trainer was helping me stay in shape. I was focused. I was disciplined, because those fight days would have been a lot more challenging had I not been prepared for what I was speaking life to, which was doing some kind of sci-fi action thing. Many of you who were with me the other day on the live, we spoke about what role we want to do next. How prepared are you for that? The other thing I want to offer you, again, if you're just joining, welcome. I'm Christine Horn, the Booking Magnet. We're talking about we're in a manifestation week about what we want to do next and how we plan to call it forth. If you walk away with nothing today, I just want you to remind you that you get what you expect. You get what you expect. You can say, yeah, Roxanne says, "Ooh, if they came in at the same time and are due at the same time, that's something to think about." Right. It's a muscle. I believe you would get it done. But I'm talking about that level of quality staying equal, not diminishing. Many times we say we want one thing, but our super quiet inside real thoughts are saying something else. And when that happens, there's contrast. And so the thing that you say you want is being pushed away by whatever other thoughts are happening here. I'll give you an example, and you may or may not resonate with this. So I have clients sometimes who come to me who have very demanding full-time jobs. Again, grown people, we got to work, we got to provide for ourselves. And sometimes these actors will come to me and tell me how much they want it, all the things. And then we start moving and the train is running and there's momentum happening. And then auditions start coming up. And what will happen is a couple of things. Either they're going to smash it and deal with it and take off, or they get the auditions, they see the potential shoot dates, they start to freak out because, oh my God, how am I going to get off? I use my PTO. How am I going to get off? Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get off. And all this stuff, who's going to take care of the kids? How am I going to do? All these things come up. And so they won't instead of denying the audition, declining it, they'll still do it, but they'll do it kind of half-assed. They won't do it so great. And then they won't book it. And then they can say, well, that wasn't my best work. I could have did better. I just got it done because I had to get it done. And that is a perpetual cycle. that keeps happening because the real root of the issue is that you're afraid that you're not going to get time off. And so because of that, even though you really want this thing, you really want this role or this opportunity, the bigger part of you that is worried about all the other stuff pushes it away. And I see it happen a lot. Absolutely, Aaron, it is sabotage. And it's not always so obvious. It's obvious to me as a coach looking from the outside in. But when you're in it, it's a lot to process, and it's okay. It is a lot to process. I'll leave you with something else today, a mantra, affirmation, or whatever you want to call it. And if someone can put it in the chat, it would be great so we can touch and agree on it. Everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. When I don't book a job, everything always works out for me. When I get replaced, everything always works out for me. When that relationship didn't last, everything always works out for me. My girl got an audition for that show and I didn't. Everything always works out for me. Thank you. I see y'all Instagram. Just if you adopt nothing else, like adopt that one. Everything always works out for me. Yes, Martin Davis. And I hold tight to that. Yes, Caroline, I see you on TikTok. We are touching and agreeing. Everything always works out for you. And I'll speak to this before I go. The quiet times that you get, and inevitably, not just right now, in this career, which is like this, like we have Six Flags. That's what this career is. Even in that, everything is always working out for you. Those of you who are close in my community, I know I shared a story with you, and I'll share it with you today because it's on my heart. It was 2022 when I booked a series regular on a very popular show, booked it, and then after the second table read, they decided to replace me. And I remember being hurt, confused, frustrated, all the things. And then all I could sit on was that everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. So God, I don't mean I understand in the moment. Let's be clear. Okay. Doesn't mean I understand. But what I'm sure of is that everything always works out for me. And then a couple months later, I ended up getting a test deal for a BET show that I didn't end up taking because I booked another series regular for a show that shot in South Africa. And I was in South Africa for 3 months shooting this amazing show for Netflix and Amazon. And it's like, God, everything always works out for me. What's for me is for me. What is for you is for you. What's for you can't miss you. But you better believe that I will be prepared for that which I am asking for. And so today, this live is not about how's your ring light, how's your backdrop. Are you prepared for what you're asking for? And also, is your ask big enough? Some of you said you just wanted one audition a week in an ideal world. And again, that's your number. But is that really what you want? Or are you just saying that because it feels safe? How can you challenge yourself? How can you push yourself? Universe, God is limitless. You can't ask for too much. You can't. My auditions are not going to take away from anybody else's, my opportunities, because everything always works out for me, just like everything always works out for you. But whatever you ask for, expect it. Expect it. Oh, thank you for spending time and space with me today. Again, I'm Christine Horn. If you're not following me at Hollywood Bound Actors on Instagram. You totally should. And I have a whole lot of fun on TikTok. I am Christine Horn. My specialty is helping actors book more TV. I have a course called Book More TV that many of you who are here have taken. But our community, more than anything, Hollywood Bound Actors, is very inspiring. We have a Facebook group and a podcast and all of that. So click the link in my bio wherever you are watching. And there are some amazing free resources. My acting toolkit, totally free. I have a few, if you get the acting toolkit, I have resources to a bunch of my free training. Then, of course, if you want to take it further with me and work with me in a paid way, you can. But I want to make sure that there's something out here for as many of you as possible. Stay inspired. Remember, you have a gift that the world needs to see. See everybody. Have a great day. Bye, TikTok.